Hi guys, how you all doing? Hope you're having a really good Saturday morning. It's beautiful weather over here in the UK, as Ben can attest. In Ireland, it's we're having a really sunny time, and yeah, great to welcome our guest again, Timely Behaviour. We had a great show last week, or a couple of weeks ago, and
fireworks too. Look at that.
Fireworks for you, Timely, yeah. That's that good. So
fireworks for me, celebrating the good weather. What's rare is wonderful.
Great to have Timely back. So just welcome our esteemed panel. Timely Behaviour from Australia, Sydney.
Yep. Yeah.
We've got Ben from Ireland. We got Abdul all the way from the Black Forest in Germany, and we have a fellow Aussie in JCB coming from Melbourne. So great to see you all, and
G'day.
Great to see all the guys in the chat. So, guys, wristwatch checks. Well, what are you wearing, Abdul?
I'm actually wearing a watch on loan from a micro brand called Nomadic.
Oh, Nomadic Irish, from Belfast, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Northern Ireland.
Yeah, they sent me this Marai 401 to test out for the next couple of weeks and make a review about it. Yeah, it has like this two-tone. What's really nice is this rotor in the back, like a turbine. It looks like a
very cool
tone somehow, a little bit, yeah.
Nice.
What sort of movement's that running, Abdul?
I think it was Elita 210
nice.
with the Elaboré. So I didn't put it until now on the time grapher, but I set it up a couple of days ago and it's still keeping good time.
Very cool.
Let's see then after a week of wearing if it's still keeping good time or not.
Yeah, there's a great execute. They're a bit derivative, obviously, but they seem to be executed really well. Anytime I've seen photos.
Yeah. It feels good, when you handle a watch, and then the edges, the parts that matters, it feels good, to the fingertips. Sometimes you hold the watch and then you're like, why is this protruding so much, or why is this hurting my finger? Why is it almost cutting my hands? And this doesn't feel like that, to be honest.
Okay, it's good to hear.
Yeah.
So next up,
nice. What do you got on there, Ben?
Go Ben next. Ben.
I'm wearing my little Hemi.
Hamilton Murph. The Murph 38.
The Murph, yeah. On a bracelet. Cool. It ticks a number of boxes for me. I love Arabics. Yeah, it's well, I was saying on one of the streams here that, like, given the kind of muted what would you call it, faux patina of the Arabic numerals, legibility at nighttime is not wonderful. But then I just wondered, was it just me getting old glasses and all the rest of it? But I heard another YouTuber talking about the same thing. But you get any light on it at all, it's great. The 38mm, it was released in 42mm, which was a direct copy of the one in the movie, but that was just way too big for most people. So the 38 is just great. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, lovely watch. My mouse keeps dropping out. So
my mouse keeps dropping out. What the hell?
I don't know.
What are you doing over there, Tom?
There.
What's
I can
happening
take
in the
you
UK?
up now. I don't know. My mouse keeps getting disconnected and connected. I've got a wireless mouse, so it's.
Are you using a Mac?
Yeah.
Bluetooth mouse.
Yeah.
Very same thing just happened to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, Jesse
Apple.
Yeah. Apple. Stress over here. JCB, what we got on wrist?
So only the Batgirl today.
Ah, the Batgirl.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Boom.
I love
Rolex.
that blue and that. I love that blue and that black. I much prefer it to the Pepsi.
Rolex, beautiful.
Rolex. Yeah, the blue and the black's pretty cool. Yeah, not too bad. I love wearing
Yeah.
blue, obviously, and black. So these are my colors. Goes well.
Great stuff. I'm wearing. Timely, do you want to tell us what you're wearing? You don't show us.
I'll show, but yeah, it's all good. Hang on. So
Let's hide your face.
there we go. So
Ooh.
this is Tissot Navigator World Time.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Nice.
So it's a World Time chronometer rated. It's part of their back catalogue. So speaking of 42 mils, this is a 42 mil. But I got the strap changed out with a real crocodile one instead of that beef jerky that it came on.
Beautiful.
But yeah, really nice watch. So,
Did you eat the strap? Was it tasty?
not really.
Lovely.
And I'm also not keen on wearing leather straps after other people have worn them because I'm collecting vintage watches. You can see the amount of dirt and garbage that is on the back of a watch normally, and people are pigs, and I don't like wearing shit after them. So if I can't throw it through the ultrasonic, I just get something new.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful watch.
Thank you.
I love a polished bezel, I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original from 1953 looks almost identical in design. Obviously, this is bigger. The only difference being the original had a little pusher above the crown at around 2 o'clock. And when you push it, it would rotate the center wheel with the time zones on it.
Okay.
Whereas this one, you pull it out one position and it'll rotate that disc. So there's no need for the extra bit hanging out the side.
Yeah, so I've got on my Micken Orange. Ben's got one of these, I believe. Seiko 5 GMT,
Yeah.
which
Nice.
was extra
Very
special,
cool.
extra special because it was a birthday present from Christmas present from
Junior.
Junior Johnson.
Yeah. SKXE
Very
AF.
cool.
Yeah,
Shout
love
out
it.
to Coach.
My son's got the
Junior's in chat as well.
non-GMT version of that.
Your son's got the which one, Timely?
The non-GMT version. So just
right.
the standard diver of that.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
classic.
Look fantastic.
They
Yeah,
look great.
And I see Seiko have released the prior to the circle indices, the square indices, they've re-released those now as well.
Yeah, they've
In
just
a
re-released
retro.
the SKX, the Seiko 5 Sport SKX, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
cool.
very cool watches.
Yeah.
I sold mine to a colleague in work actually. I gave it to him for cheap. He was delighted.
Yeah, so as you can see, guys, we've got a little banner at the bottom saying, please send us your wrist shots. So we're coming up to 500 subscribers, so we're going to do a little wrist shot show for that. And we wanted to also promote our good friend ID Guy, because he's coming up to 100,000 subscribers. He's got 99,800 subscribers. And I also wanted to just promote also the D-Time Love Show, because he's coming up to 95,000 subscribers. So if you check out his channel, he's 94,600 subscribers. So please check out both those channels. Both cracking channels, great content. ID Guy, you don't have to subscribe if they're not your jam. but I just thought I'd give them a little push and try and help them get to their goals, their milestones. Yeah, ID guy, we know him. We know what he does. He's been on the show. Industrial designer stuff. He does loads of great renders on his videos, and anytime he does a lot of coverage of watch shows. He's just come back from watches of Solo in Italy. He does a lot of watch reviews. He does a lot of stuff to do with the industry, and he's a very busy man. He's got a big A to Z of watches, a lot of vintage stuff he's been focusing on recently, and yeah, all sorts of stuff. So I'll just catch up with the chat and say hi to everyone. C-Nord, great to see you, my friend. It's great to meet you in Watches and Wonders. And yeah, upvote and subscribe. 6 more to go. Let's go. Timely, great to see you, my friend. Russell996, morning watch fans. Chili Burger, great to see you.
Chili.
Birthday Queen Erin Fletcher, hello, and hope everything's going well in Fairhaven, Massachusetts. Junior, how's it going, my friend? Hope it's going well in Michigan, my friend. Trap Vision 3D, check out his channel, and if any of you are watching who've got channels, please drop the link to your channels. Tim G, good to see you, my friend. Litvatic Underground. Oh, how's it go, my friend? Good to see you, Mark. Again, another great channel, a great Sunday stream. Check out his channel. The Watch Apprentice, he's having a holiday in Belfast at the moment with Red Shovel. I hope you're having a good time, my friend.
What about you?
Kevin
What about
Hawthorne. Kevin Hawthorne from Lakeland, Florida, up early and a stalwart viewer. And yeah, I think that's about it for the time being.
Tom, can I just respond to one of the questions there about the Murph in the chat?
Yeah, I think it was Trap Vision 3D, wasn't it?
C Nord there, just how's the bracelet? Yeah, so the bracelet was released. It's Hamilton's OEM bracelet came out this year, along with the white dial one. It's very good. The finishing on it, the brushing on it is very good. It's a 3-link bracelet. It's funny, actually. I've never seen this before. On the center link, they've polished the inside of it, which creates a nice little sliver of polish just on the outsides of the inside of the middle link. The clasp is a bit agricultural, I would say. Typical of it, you know, it size wise and everything. It's like an old Seamaster or Speedmaster clasp, but it's milled. The clasp itself is milled, and
how much adjustment on it?
There's 3 micro adjustments on the clasps.
Okay, cool.
And the bracelet just has a nice little feature where it's got I don't know if you can see that. It's got a quick release.
Yep.
It's got a couple of quick release tabs. So easy for strap changes, because ultimately I'll probably put this on a NATO for a period of time anyway, because I think that the whole khaki fuel range looks great on a NATO strap.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so we're doing another question and answers show today, guys, and yeah, so let's kick off. Got quite a lot of questions written down, so I might get a bit lost, but what would be a comfortable? What is a price range you feel comfortable wearing without zero worries, guys?
Zero worries, huh?
Yeah.
Like
What would be your sort of I suppose I could rephrase the question. What would be your comfortable beta watch price range?
There you go. I was going to say, what kind of worries are we talking about first?
Well, without damaging it, and without you got to take into account that we knock out watches, and I know you take good care of yours, timely, and but watches get knocked, watches get zero worry of being stolen, or zero worry of being. I know we all aspire to buying nice pieces, but without zero.
I understand your point, Tom. I think maybe 5K would be my a Tudor Pelagos or something, or a Black Bay. I would take it swimming. I would travel with it because I know it's not a flashy watch. Like maybe even a Datejust could be extruded as a flashy watch if you go to a big city because of the shine of the Jubilee bracelet. But a Tudor somehow goes under the radar more, or maybe I don't know if an Omega would go under the radar more. But for me, I would go for 5. I think that would be like what I think. Okay, I'll travel with the watch, swim, do everything without the need to say, no, I need to change the watch, or I need to be more careful while wearing it.
Yeah, for me, I mean, 5K is the price range that I would feel comfortable spending on a watch, period. Without zero worry. I mean, it used to be 5K, then it got elevated to 10K, like we discussed last week, and then now I aspire to 20K, but I don't feel
50.
comfortable. I don't feel comfortable wearing a 20K watch because of it getting stolen or losing it or whatever. But without zero worry, I think under probably £1,000 is my sort of benchmark. Probably about 1K, or maybe 2K for me.
What's going to be interesting now is you've got the 2 Aussies left, and what our opinions are going to be versus everyone else's will be interesting because we're in the same country, we're on the same coastline. You know what I mean? Based on what's your big story about being stolen and all that. So JCB, you can go first.
Actually, go Ben. Maybe Ben chime in, and then we can go.
Yeah, it's funny. I've been thinking about this a lot, actually, especially as the weather's getting better and beaches are beckoning. Like the real answer to get that out of the way is I'll be wearing a Seiko. I'll be wearing my Seiko Alpinist, which has a screw down crown at 200 meters of water resistance, and wouldn't be expensive to replace. In the past, I have worn a Tudor Black Bay 58 swimming. Wore it all the time. Last for one holiday in the pool, on the beach, in the sand, everything. So I guess I probably would wear a Tudor, but in my collection at the moment, there's so much neo vintage in there that they just don't have the features. I don't think I wouldn't have the confidence to wear them in the sea or on the beach. So at the moment, I'll bring 2 watches to Portugal with me: a Seiko Turtle, and a Seiko Alpinist. And that'll just give me a little bit of variety, but good, cheap.
Keeping the prices below 600.
Yeah, and good choice of watch too.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, for me, so it's the thing. The only thing I really worry about is like damaging the watch, and so that's if I'm doing something like going out into the garden, or like going scuba, diving or something like that. So I'll wear something cheap for that, like I'll wear a Zelos or a Seiko or something like that. But that's the only thing that worries me. I don't care. Where I live, it's really safe, so I can wear my watches, and I don't care. I can wear whatever. I would feel comfortable wearing a $500,000 AP or MBNF or something like that down the street, and I know that I'd be totally safe. So the actual dollar value is not a consideration; it's the actual activities that I'm doing. That's really the only consideration for me.
Yeah,
Right.
I've got a very similar opinion as well. Like, as far as it getting stolen, you know, if you're out and about in Australia, no one really gives two shits what you're wearing on your wrist. So it's not really a big thing here regarding that. So I'm happy to wear whatever. It doesn't really bother me. It's more around getting damaged.
Yeah.
But at the same
Yeah.
time, the price of what it is. So, for example, if I'm wearing something vintage, I really don't want to knock it around. If I'm wearing something dressy like the Reverso, I don't want to knock it around. If I'm wearing my Black Bay or the Explorer, I really don't give a shit. I'll be honest with you. I mean, they're built pretty tough. They're a tool watch. They're designed to, you know, do all and be all. I treat them like guys would have treated them in the 60s and 70s, right? They're just you put on your wrist, you get it done, and happy days. So the price range isn't really what determines whether or not it gets not treated like garbage, but like I'm worried about a scratch or a knock or something.
Yeah.
It's more of, I guess, the resilience of the watch.
The resilience.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So how often does your collection change? Do you buy to keep, or are you constantly curating, refining, selling, and adding? And do you have long periods of just being satisfied with what you have? Are you a flipper, or are you a seller as well? I wouldn't say flipper, because we're none of us are flippers here. We don't buy and sell immediately. But are you a person whose tastes change a lot, and you find you want to get in and out? Personally, I buy to keep, and I used to buy to keep. For 15 years, it was buy to keep, and it's only recently I've started to sort of consolidate the collection and sell a few watches, and maybe sort of aim for a nicer watch, or
Yeah, I'm the same, Tom. Like I buy to keep. Like I don't really like the big pieces that I've got anyway. Like I'll think about them a lot. You know, I'll go and try on a whole ton of watches, and my buying process takes a really long time to actually settle on a piece and buy it. And so I feel like once I've got it, it's gonna, like I've gone through the process of actually trying it, and the trial and error sort of before I get the watch. So it's very rare that I've bought a watch and then I've sold it because I didn't like it for whatever reason.
Pretty sure of it before you land on it.
Yeah, generally speaking, yeah. During COVID, I bought a couple of pieces online without trying them because I just, we were in lockdown and whatever, right? And so I had some money there sitting to burn. So I bought a couple of pieces and I ended up moving them purely for that reason. I think I learnt my lesson through that experience, that it's, for me anyway, it's really important to actually try the watch on before I pull the trigger on it, So yeah, I'm definitely in the keeper camp. But having said that, with the cheaper watches, I sort of tend to get those in and move them out a bit. Like I've sold a ton of Seikos, I've sold a Zelos, I've sold a few of the cheaper watches, but the bigger ones I tend to keep on to those ones.
Yeah, I have the different approach than you, GCB. I buy and then think about it later. I think less before buying. If I find
just like GCB, but the opposite.
Yeah,
exactly. Sometimes I'm like.
Yeah, that's like that guy. I was going to say, I think Tom, when he said flippers, I think you might have been referring to like that guy Bruce Williams. He's a YouTuber. He doesn't flip. He buys stuff to get it in, and he wears it, and then he sells it because he's just like in with something, then out, in and out. That's how you try. It's a good
wears it and
philosophy because
flips
you
it.
get
Yeah.
to try a whole heap of watches, whereas I'm sitting
Yeah,
here,
absolutely.
I've just got my 3 or 4 watches, and I don't have that experience of having other watches. So, it's probably both philosophies are sort of equally valid. I suppose it's just whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. If I that was my idea first, right? To do like something like Bruce, but the problem is somehow my addiction of keeping the watches as well came over it, and I kept most of them. And then,
The whole plan went out the window.
exactly, so that's a big issue. And now I'm trying to control it by buying like cheaper watches and just gifting them to family members when I go back to Egypt, like take 6-7 watches and then give them around. And then, like now I don't have any watches in that segment anymore. I can start buying again. Sometimes it helps. I'm thinking about actually taking a couple of watches to my local watch dealer and trying to bundle to upgrade, because I'm noticing I'm just not wearing them at all. So
Yeah, that's my worry. Like, I'll buy all these watches and just not wear them. So I'd rather just save up my pennies and pull in the big fish that I want to buy and sort of save up and save my pennies. That's
you buy a lot of watches for the channel, though, don't you, Abdul?
Yeah, I do that. Yeah,
to sort of video and do reviews of, and then
exactly.
I suppose you end up selling them, or do you hoard them?
Yeah, I used to sell them. So I used to get like sometimes I go to watch fairs here, and then I buy like 20 vintage watches and do like adjustment videos, repair videos, change the straps, clean the watch, and so on. And then I sell them on Chrono. But now in Germany, the tax laws are getting very strict, so I have to write everything down, what the price I buy for, and I sell it. And for me, that's just too much effort.
Taking all the fun out of it, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Took right the fun out of it. I was like, okay, I'll just keep them and give them to my relatives in Egypt. They'll be happy.
What about you, Timely? What you've got a big watch collection. You say you buy quite a few vintage pieces. Do you go through them, and do you said you sold 2,000 watches in the
I used to. Yeah,
so
watches were in and out to pay for the ones that I really wanted to get, if that makes sense. I wasn't putting my hand in the pocket of what we're earning. It was just whatever I could make off them, which was good in a way because I got to experience so many different pieces in that. But at the moment, it's the ones I have are the ones I have. If something new comes in, it's because it looks like it's going to be fun, or it looks like it's like a historical piece or something like that. Otherwise, like I've been very quiet for the past year and a half, I think. Very, very slow moving collection now. I've moved a couple on. I gained a couple. I don't see it really changing all that much unless my taste completely changes or something drastic like that. But otherwise, I mean, just maintaining what I've got.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
Be interested to hear from the chat what you guys do with all these questions I'm asking. What are your different approaches? And just like to say a quick hello to Joseph D. Good morning, and to Original OC. Good to see you. Nice to see you guys.
I'm interested to see Ben's one now.
Yeah, Ben, what about you? I know you sold quite a few watches and you've gone through different phases. And
I went through 2 major phases. I got into the hobby in 2017 and just made that age-old mistake of buying every single affordable, YouTube spruiked piece out there. So many Seiko, so many vintage Omegas, everything under 1,000. Ended up with like 30 watches.
And 2 wrists.
And 2 wrists, yeah. 2 ankles. Good, yeah. Anyway, on good advice from some friends and from the group, the Dublin Watch group that we're in, our Red Bar now, I consolidated and ended up with a Speedmaster and a Tudor BB58 and a Cartier, and they were really the flagships of the collection. And there was a few other pieces that, like JCB, cheaper pieces that were coming in and out all the time. But then there was a second phase. I just felt really uneasy with what I had. The Cartier I wasn't happy with. As everybody knows, the Moon Swatch debacle put me off the Speedmaster and maybe Omega for a long time. So I wanted to
give Ben cold shivers there, JCB. What are you doing?
Oh, Moon Swatch.
My feelings are not as entrenched as they used to be. It's probably just age, but so I wanted to move. Really, I should never have bought the Speedmaster. The Explorer was always the watch that I wanted, but you can't sell a Speedmaster, get an Explorer, so I had to sell the BB58 as well. So that was the second phase. I got rid of the Cartier, the BB58, the Speedmaster, brought in an Explorer, Grand Seiko, and an automatic Omega. But, you know, in both of those phases, I did it all at once, sold everything at once, and brought the things in. And it's like, it becomes a job. The second time, I felt a bit stressful because there was a watch I was bringing in from Japan and it got caught in customs and they were threatening to destroy it unless I could prove authenticity, which, how do you do that? Like, they ended up writing to Omega, I think.
What?
So, yeah.
Really?
They wrote to Omega.
Wow.
Lucky it wasn't a Moon Swatch then.
I would have been like, yeah, destroy the fucking thing. take it off the face of the earth.
Send me a video.
It should have been good. You should have got the letter that came back from Amiga that it was like genuine. That would have been pretty cool.
That would be nice,
almost. They just released the thing from customs. So after that, like, well, at the moment, as I've said before, I feel very good about the collection. I have, like, it feels like I have everything I want at the moment, and all areas are covered. Plus, like, because it's kind of stressful, you don't want to be doing that too often. So I feel very, very settled with the collection at the moment. The Explorer 2 will probably never go anywhere. I say probably because never say never. But yeah, I'm just happy at the moment.
Chili Badger's got a thing about the Speedmaster. He says he purchased a Speedmaster, did nothing for him. He sold it within 4 weeks. He didn't try.
It's an odd one because it's so, like, it's in 100 movies. It went to the bloody moon. You're supposed to love it. It's iconic. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Ed White, all of those stories. You're supposed to love it, and yet there are so many people who just don't love it.
I'll be honest with you. I'm one of them.
Me too.
I appreciate what it did. So being, you know, a very specific tool that was designed for a specific reason. Initially, as I think it was a bit more motor racing kind of thing, going from a Seamaster with a 321 and then jumping into that. And you know, the whole thing about the moon, and I'm a big space fan, and you know, the astronauts and the whole, you know, shebang. But
yeah,
I've worn them, I've seen them, I've played with them, and I'm cold to them.
Well, it's that reminds me of one of the questions that I put in the chat that we had earlier in the week, which was around, you know, do you think, you know how some people say, oh, every collection needs a Speedy or every collection needs a Rolex. You know, there's those people that say, oh, every collection's got to have something. I just don't, you know, like as you guys have all sort of proven, you know, you don't need to have that watch that everyone says. You know, it's all about all about what you like, right? That's at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Does everyone need a dress watch? Does everyone need a Submariner? Does everyone need a Speedy in the collection? Does everyone need a GMT in the collection? Do you have to tick all these boxes?
Do you have to take the dress watch one? Is another one that I've been thinking about a lot recently. Like, where, like, I don't go to like the Oscars or when do I ever need a dress watch? I might go to something. I never go to anything. And work, the work life now, I'd say it's probably the same worldwide. We've dressed down considerably within the last decade. People are not wearing shirts, ties, suits anymore. They're wearing, a decent polo shirt and jeans and a nice pair of shoes.
That's it.
So, like, they look like that Patek that you have on screen now is beautiful. But I would never wear that.
It'd just sit in the box, wouldn't it?
It would.
See, whereas for me, my job, it involves me wearing more corporate outfits. So I can get away with wearing. So I've got the Gold Omega, the vintage Longines, those kind of watches I can wear daily, and there's no issue. They don't look out of place. But at the same time, I can whack on the Explorer or the vintage Tudor Oyster or whatever, and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Would I wear this to work? No, I don't wear my reverser to work. I don't wear this to work. Bit much. But everyone's different. There's a time, there's a place, and if you have the ability to wear them, great. It just depends. I don't have the ability to wear a plastic Blancpain or the Moonswatch or anything really. So I've never really collected one. Because if I'm at home, I'm wearing something vintage or whatever, and if I'm at work, I'm wearing something dressy. So,
I mean, another question Jesse B put to us was, does that watch need to be a particular type of watch? I mean, we're always spooked. You gotta have a Submariner, or you've gotta have a Speedmaster. I mean, you start in this collecting phase, and it's sort of like the hierarchy of icons you've got to get. Everyone should own, Speedmaster, then Rolex Submariner, and then JLC Reverso or whatever, and then Patek, Datejust and Pateks, and you've got to have a Rolex. And I think people, personally myself, I think people buy Rolexes and Speedmasters. The Submariner and the Speedmaster, people buy them as achievement awards, and to say I'm serious about watches and I've arrived. I'm sort of making a statement that.
Thomas, can I ask you a quick question?
Not necessarily. Well, just a second, Stanley. Not necessarily a statement to say I've arrived, but to say that I've achievement. Yeah, I've made it. It's the sort of I've made it. What Sorry, go ahead, Stanley.
The question was going to be, like you said, you get a Submariner because it's your serious watch. But my question is, if you don't like it, are you really being serious about it? Like, you should be buying what you like, not because something's an icon. It makes no sense.
Exactly. I mean, I bought one in 2010. I bought my Kermit, and I've barely worn it, and I've fallen out of love with the Submariner. As a watch in general, I've had Submariner overkill from watching YouTube videos from the Rolex spruiking that everyone goes on about, from the you've got to get a Submariner, from the constant barrage of everyone needs a Submariner. They're the ultimate watch, and the fact that they're copied by it's become the benchmark of being copied by so many other brands.
You
can. It is an icon. It is an icon. No doubt about it. It's extremely legible. It's a workhorse of a watch. But its design is so copied by so many brands. It's become a bit diluted for me.
Yeah. I've had a really interesting relationship myself with icons, right? So when I first got into the hobby, I hated icons. I didn't want to buy them because of the fact that they were icons. Like they were everywhere. Everyone had them exactly for that reason, right? They turned me off. So I went left field and I bought weird stuff. Like instead of getting a Navitimer, I got a Transocean. You know what I mean? Like I buy weird watches. I've got an El Primero, that sort of stuff. But as I handled the watches and, go to meetups and red bars and go to watch stores, and then you sort of get to see the watches and you sort of over time, for me, I actually really started appreciating them from the design perspective. Like, look at that watch on the screen, Tom. I think you sort of said it before, like you paused, you said the design of the watch is, and I was waiting for you to finish it. I was going to say it's perfect. Like it's such a killer watch. It's such a beautiful design. And that's why it become an icon, right? Yeah. And so that's as I got more and more into the game, I was like, it's an icon for a reason, you idiot. It's so good that it's like that's why it's an icon, right? Yeah. So I've come around to them, and I'm sort of like, I put all the extraneous shit to the side. I don't care what people say about them and how ubiquitous they are. If it's a cool watch for me, like I'll just wear it. If I like it, I'll buy it. So that's sort of how I ended up with the GMT. I just really liked the design of the watch.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I've just sort of, you know what I mean? Like for me, I got to a point where I was like, yeah, I hated them, and now I can appreciate them for what they are, I suppose.
Yeah, I have look with Rolex, right? My perception of Rolex is that they do hold a certain gravitas amongst all other watches, and I think there's two reasons for that. A, it's value retention, and B, the name is so ubiquitous that you don't need to be a watch enthusiast or watch fan to know the name Rolex. It's like knowing Google or Hoover or any of these ubiquitous names. So immediately people appreciate the fact that it's a Rolex, regardless of. I see Chili Badger has said he loves his no date Submariner, and for me, it's the best of the Submariners. But my problem with the Submariner is that it's just lost the two. When I think of Submariner, I like Sean Connery's Submariner in the James Bond movie. The toolish aesthetic. That's what I love about Tudor, because I think with the aluminium bezels, they're a bit more toolish. And as we said, we're not afraid to wear them. The current Submariner with the ceramic bezel, the white gold indices, the polished sides, the polished lugs, crown guards, it's become very flashy and jewelry. Like it's also quite big. Yeah. So it could be spotted like from 1,000 yards, which makes me a little bit nervous. So I've never gone for it. I loved my Tudor BB58 when I've had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rich Buddy's got a good comment here. The Black Summer Sunday is everyone's first watch when you thought you were only going to get one luxury watch in the beginning. So we all got what we would if we only get our first watch.
That's really good.
That's really good. And that was exactly my approach, Rich Buddy. It was like, I want to get a nice watch. What am I going to get? I'm going to get Submariner.
Yeah, and it's the intelligent choice.
It's everyone's first nice watch.
But I had
how
a
much
bit
of
of
that is the is all of the noise around it, and how much of it was the watch itself, Tom, that you actually loved the watch? You know what I mean? Like, can you think
It
about
was
that?
it
What are your
was
thoughts?
the fact that it had a green bezel and it was different from all the others
Mm.
that I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me it
Yeah.
was different with the first luxury watch because my grandfather had a Datejust 1601 rose gold, two-tone rose gold, and I always liked the watch, and I liked seeing it on him, and I always said, okay, when I get my first, let's say, luxury watch, it will be a Datejust. And then I had the same thinking about Rich, what he was saying. But I was in Egypt for the summer vacation, went to a beach with friends, and almost, let's say, every from every two people, one person was wearing a Submariner on that beach. So I was like, nah, I don't want to wear a watch or a get watch that almost everybody in that area would have, and I ended up getting my Datejust, but I opted for a Tudor Submariner, which was too small for me. Now I gave it to my wife, but yeah, I think with the idea of wearing the watch, I just buy what I like. I have the and I had a time when I had 3 Datejusts, so basically the same watch, 36 millimeters, with different two-tone gold metals, just to because I really like the watch. But for me, I always have this idea about just buy what you like. I have a couple of dress watches. I wear them when I go to work. Sometimes I mix it up. I wear some other watches. Almost all my watches I wear to work. The only one I don't wear because it's just too flashy is the Mad One, even though it's one of the more affordable ones. But just because of the rotor that just goes spinning around, people will be like looking at my wrist, which would attract too much attention. You know.
So, I mean, still talking about Rolex, how do you feel about the current state of waiting lists and premiums and availability for popular models? I know they've gone down a bit since the past couple of years, but there's still got waiting lists on a lot of watches. I mean, is it bizarre? Is it frustrating? Is it really worth it, do you think?
And I've just never even bothered, to be honest. Like I've never bothered with the waiting list because because I know that it's just I'll never get a watch. I don't have a spend history with a Rolex AD, so I'm just like it doesn't even come into my mind, really. Which is it's a bit of a shame, I guess, because it's like I've just put out of my mind that I can get a Daytona at retail. You know, for me, I'm thinking if I want that Daytona, I'm going to have to pay 2 or 3 times retail. That's just mental. Like that's just so stupid, right? So, okay, to answer your question, Tom, yeah, I hate it. The waiting lists and all that is just it's bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Ben? You didn't go waitlist, did you? You went.
Yeah,
You're
like
muted,
I've said it several times publicly before that like really the one Rolex that only interested me was the Explorer 1 and Explorer 2. And the Explorer 2, like I don't have a huge wrist. Explorer 2, the modern one, was always going to be too big. So it was I was going to vintage or neo vintage 16570, 40, 39, 40 mil. So I never had that issue. I likely never will have that issue. I would like a Datejust now. A Datejust is coming to it's coming to my mind, but I think I prefer the vintage. I think I prefer the 16233. If anyone's familiar with that reference, it's like a two-tone
Right.
from the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, still using sapphire crystal and still using one of the later movements. So I reckon I'll be dipping my toe. Plus, like modern day Datejusts are gone very expensive. They're like 10 grand plus now. Whereas you can still go for the 5 digits late 80s references for 5, 6, maybe 7. So a really cool one with a Tiffany cosign on it for 8 or 9 there. on Chrono this morning, which was very tempting.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I'm the same as JCB. The waitlist thing is never going to impact me. I don't ever see myself joining a waitlist. It's crazy that you can't get a Pepsi or a Daytona. That's nuts. And it still seems to be the case with those two in particular. But you do hear stories, if you're patient with some of the other watches, Pepsi and Daytona aside, they seem to be coming within 6 months to a year now, so not so bad.
Yeah, it's dropped down, I've heard. What I find
Yeah.
fascinating is Tom's Kermit, sat in the window for what was it, Tom? Like a year or
about a year. So
about a
good,
year.
good few. Yeah, good. At least half a year. Yeah.
It was a good 6 months that Kermit sat in the window. Tom walked past it every day on his way to work, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, I like that. I'll buy it." And imagine seeing a Submariner in the window now for sale. I mean,
Yeah.
forget about it.
Tom, do you mind me asking how much did you pay for that back in the day?
£4,010.
Very good.
Doubles.
Here's a
And
question.
that was on interest-free finance.
Very good, yeah.
Here's a question, Tom. So, and this is getting back to sort of the collecting conversation. So you've got the Kermit, and you said that you don't wear it, but I know that you love the Breguet. It's a 7147, I think, is the reference.
Yeah.
And you've been umming and ahhing about moving the Kermit. So tell us about that. I think philosophically, what's going through your head? You've got this really cool watch. You've got the Kermit, which is an icon, really valuable, but you don't wear it. On the other hand, you know what your Grail is, and you could flip that Kermit and get into your Grail with it, maybe another couple of pound or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
talk us through that. What are you thinking?
I bought it, and it was my baby. It was my baby when I bought it. It was my first nice watch, and I babied it. I really babied it too much. Then the next year, a year after, I bought my Panerai, and I spent £6,500 on the Panerai.
Wow.
And I even got a bank loan to buy that. So it cost me even more with interest from the bank loan. So that was, again, stupid mistakes that we make. Don't you get a bank loan to buy a watch? This is rule number one,
Yeah.
Don't go into debt. So I ended up wearing I fell in love. I got Panerai fever, and because it was 2011, it was the coming towards the end of the Panerai thing, and I fell in love with the Panerai, and I wore that for the Kermit became a sort of safe queen. It was this limited edition celebrate 50th anniversary watch that I thought, oh, maybe it'll be an investment, which I fell for that investment thing, and I wore this Panerai, and I wore for 10 years straight, and it became my most worn watch. It's did loads of dings and I still love it. Then because I bought other watches. I got my Milgauss. I got my which I loved even more than the Kermit because of the dial. It's got such a nice dial.
Oh, you got the Z Blue.
So blue Milgauss, yeah. And it became a bit redundant, the Kermit, even though it was sort of this. And I started to come around to the idea that watches aren't investments. They're not really They shouldn't be investments. I became anti-investment, anti-watch investment, and I sort of started to fall out of love with it a bit. And then I got the Breguet Love more recently, and you know, tried it on. I've tried it on for the past 5 years. I've tried it on. Well, ID Guy did a review of my watches, and 5 years ago, and he said it may not be a popular idea this time, but I think you ought to sell the Kermit and upgrade to a nice dress watch. And I thought, what are you talking about? No,
that's what I said.
No, what are you talking about? I thought, no, that's a stupid idea. This is a watch to keep. It's my first nice watch, you know. It's blah blah blah. It's going to be worth a bit, and then I started trying on Breguets, and I saw the 7147 white dial, and it's gorgeous. I love it. I've tried it on so many times in different places. I've tried it on in Ireland when I've been to visit you, Ben. I've tried it on in Wales. I've tried it on in where I live. I've tried it on in Geneva Airport, duty free. Recently,
when you try it on, does it give you does it kick you in the balls when you wear it? Does it give you the warm and fuzzies? Like, do you love it?
It makes me think. It makes me think of being an ultimate Grail watch. To be honest with you, it makes me think of being my Grail watch. A Grail dress watch, you know, and I haven't got any dress watches in the collection, and it makes me think of being this sort of beautiful work of art, but it's in white gold. It's white gold. It's a lot of money, and that's another reason. That's another reason I stopped wearing the Kermit, because it became worth so much. And I felt uncomfortable wearing such an expensive watch. So it's a.
Do you reckon you'd wear it? Do you have occasion to wear that watch, the Breguet? Like, if you bought it, would you actually wear the watch, do you think? In your lifestyle?
That's a good point.
Because to me, the thing is, right, we always say buy what you like. That, to me, that statement is qualified by my next rule, which is buy watches that you're going to wear. Yeah. Like, you like the Breguet. The next question is, will you wear it? Will you get the wear out of it? You know,
that's my big question too, JCB.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't wear it as much as some of the sports watches I've got at the moment. But I would wear it, and it would be a prized possession. It would be something I'd wear on occasion. And so does it warrant? Should we, that could be a good question. Should we keep our grails as something that we idolize and wish for, or should we buy our grails? You know, even if they're watches that we don't buy. You know, I just want to catch up with some comment quickly. Just Urban is saying he's about to board a plane to Valencia, catch up with the show later. But he also says, Ben, that he's wearing a Datejust at the moment, and he's got he's an Explorer 2 like you've got.
Yeah, like 5-digit Datejust is classic.
Two excellent choices.
And Russell 996 is going back to a question we asked about wearing watches. He says, I would always wear a watch appropriately for the activity. I prefer dress watches, so I'm happy to walk, take the bus or tube with a dress piece, including the minute repeater, which is a £400,000 watch. pieces with a strap attract zero attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Strap goes under the radar. If you're wearing any kind of independent watch or some Patek dress watch, grand complication, I don't think people on the tube or on the bus will bat an eye on it.
Seriously, Thomas, don't listen to JCB. Buy the one that you want and you'll wear it. It doesn't matter. I got the Reverso. I'm always on horseback playing polo. Don't worry about it. You'll find a way to do it. It's all good.
The watch came first, the polo came second.
Yeah, see? Ben's all over it. He's got me pegged.
Can I just respond to something else that Russ said as well there, Thomas? We're just going back to the Submariner conversation. He says that he went for an SD 4000. I couldn't agree with him more on that. It's a great bloody watch. But it's missing the Cyclops. That's like sniper's dream, that Cyclops. It could be spotted from. But so it's missing the Cyclops. And it just carries that more tool vibe that the Submariner used to have. Great choice.
So just quickly about the sub as well on that. Like JCB was saying before, when you have the modern sub, he said it's an icon for a reason because it's perfect. I agree. The thing with it though, for me though, it's so perfect that it's almost become clinical or not sterile, but like it's lost a bit of warmth for me, if that makes sense. Like for me, as pretty as it looks with a ceramic bezel and everything on it, like an early 90s, late 80s with an acrylic dome crystal would suit me more, I guess, if that makes sense. There's something there.
Yeah.
Like to Ben's point, the reason that he had a Black Bay and I've got one is because we like the 6538, gilt dial, no crown guards.
Yes.
The triangle, that's the style that I guess we like. There's a bit of warmth there. There's a bit of something there.
Yes.
And the modern sub is perfect. It'll do everything. It'll look fantastic in everything, in a suit, in swimming costume, whatever you got, yeah. But there's something, it's so perfect that it's lost its soul almost, I dare say.
Yeah, I think something.
Yeah, Rich is saying he understands Abdul. He wasn't that way 15 years ago. There were a lot of people that could wear Rolex. He follows up with, now you have rich kids wearing Rolex and you got to step up to Patek. Ooh.
Patek,
He
bro.
follows up with, so now he has 7 Rolex, 2 Omega, 1 Patek. He will only have Patek now, nothing else.
You're basically warping into Archie luxury, is what you're telling us. 5 identical Pateks.
Yeah. No, I agree though, Timely. I think that they lost something when they went from pre-ceramic to ceramic. Definitely, there was that's just some of that sort of that warmth sort of faded off with the ceramic for sure.
And across the range, like if you look at the what do you call it, the Pepsi, yeah. So you look at the pre-ceramic, it was a different color blue. Then you get the ones that tend to fade over time. The loom as well goes all nice custody color, whereas the modern ones, it's a very dark blue, very shiny, it's a different watch. It's completely different.
Yeah, sure. Those old GMT Masters, no applied indices, they're just so cool looking.
Yeah.
But then, our friend Nick has one, Tom. They feel quite cheap in hand with the bracelet and all that.
But there is a bracelet
cool
that you can get with them, right? And it's a pretty smart, schmancy little bracelet for the vintage ones. And there's a guy, his name's Jimmy Splits. He's got a channel, and he's got one.
Oh, he's got a great channel, Jimmy Split. Yeah.
So Jimmy Splits one, it's what they used to call an oyster flex. So it's an oyster bracelet that stretches like a like the old school stretchy bracelets.
Flexifit, the Flexifit.
That's like them. But it has it's got a Rolex clasp, like every standard Rolex back then, a press clasp. But the oyster links are spring loaded and stretch as well. It's really fucking cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Rich Buddy has some great comments. The Sartzi Bluesy, he's buying them finance free for 6 months, which is cool. There's no AD offers that in Ireland here. I remember I cried after I bought the Bluesy. What did you do? That was a lot of money. It's the stress of it. Yeah, I know that feeling. Panic.
So Russell's got a comment. Russell, sorry, Abdul. Carry on.
No worries. Never buy a piece on second. I agree 100% with Ross. That's 100%. Yeah.
So Russell says never buy a piece on the secondary. I was going to say, have you ever had a worst experience buying a watch with bad service? Can you share a memorable story, or positive or negative, about interaction with your watch dealer or boutique? I guess.
I don't think I've ever gone through it.
Or do you regularly visit your AD boutique, and how do you feel about that experience? Do you dress smart when you go, or do you take them Krispy Kremes or anything?
Brilliant.
For me, I don't go here often to ADs. I mostly go to secondary dealers just to see what they have in the inventory. But when I travel, I tend to visit ADs because I'm already on vacation. Inhibitions are low. Maybe I splurge and buy something. And until now, I always had good experience. I have to say, like people were saying, "Oh, AP boutiques are the worst." And I was in Venice maybe 1.5 years ago. We went to the AP boutique. The guy was so friendly, showed us a couple of Royal Oaks. Everybody was really cool. We drank a coffee and then we left the boutique. We didn't buy anything. So sometimes it's just like this. Sometimes I'm in airports and I'm like, okay, I need to drink a coffee. Just enter the Bulgari boutique, look at the watches, drink a coffee there, and then make it. Go back to my flight. So it's different somehow, but here in my hometown, not so much.
Yeah, I had a brilliant experience buying my Speedmaster. I have to say, it was brilliant. I knew Alex anyway from Where's, you know, Alex, Tom.
Yeah.
And I brought him a nice bottle of wine, and I bought him a nice bottle of wine because I put a deposit down on the watch, and then when I was ready to pay for the watch, he gave me a bottle of champagne, and it was just a mutual kind of kinship there. I got loads of time in there with him. You know, the thing was resized in minutes. It was great. The whole experience was great. Second to none.
Great.
Nice.
Yeah, I visited. Welcome, Y2K. Good to see you.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I haven't really visited my boutique. I visit boutiques. I'm fairly friendly with a couple of staff in one boutique, and I was friendly with the staff in the Rolex AD, but they've now left since I bought my watches. They've left they don't work there anymore. But I don't frequent the Rolex boutique. I'm not one of these people who buys a lot of watches. I don't really go there a lot. I don't take them. One thing I do take them just is sort of reverse. I don't take them donuts or anything, but I take them Rolex merchandise, which is a bit of a sort of reverse.
You're supplying them with their own merchandise?
Yeah, supply them with their own merchandise. So when I go to Watches and Wonders, I get tote bags, and I take Watches and Wonders stuff that they don't get to them. So I take them 2 tote bags each.
That's funny. I like that.
So sort of a
You're better off, Thomas. You're better off with the donuts, because then they'll get cholesterol. Someone else will have to take over the account. You might have a better chance of getting it.
So it's a sort of reverse sort of psychology.
Okay.
thing, but it's pretty cool, you know. Just it's a bit of fun.
Watch out! I'll turn
So-
around to you and say, "Hey, can you get me a deal on a sub?"
No, but they've been good to me. They've been good to me. But at the start of the say, the people I've dealt with have left now, and yeah.
I don't know. I'm old school. If I walk into somewhere like that, I'm expecting them to make me feel good about buying their products, not me having to make them feel good about selling it.
Rich Buddy says, "You've tried to work the AD angle. It doesn't work. They're all fucking pricks."
Ding ding.
I generally get stressed out at the thought of walking into a boutique. It's not my thing. Like when I got into watches, like I was the archetypal enthusiast. I started off with an SKX, bought from, I don't know, some, budget store from the Netherlands or something like that. It was never my thing to be going into ADs, but then, as you say, Tom, you start moving up the price range. You start getting comfortable with, spruiking $5,000 on a watch, whatever it is. And you do end up in there, but it's never something I just never been comfortable with it.
I mean,
Here's a funny one for you. Sorry, go.
I was just gonna say that it's actually an uncomfortable environment, or not the environment, but just walking in there. Like there's a security guard, and the last time I went to an AD in Melbourne, I walked up just to a store, and the guy on the door, the security guard goes, "Have you got an appointment?" I'm like,
yeah.
"What are you talking about? Like, just to go into the store to fucking spend maybe, you don't know who I am. I could have 20 grand in my pocket to burn. You know what I mean?" It was just really weird. So, yeah, I think it's just but once you're in there, it's okay. I think it's just that initial getting in there is a little bit uncomfortable. But what I found was, I went through this stage where it was maybe 6 months where I was just going to ADs like all the time in the high street in my town. And I was trying on all these watches. It was awesome. Like it was just such a great experience to try on all the different watches. I think once you get over the mental thing of going in there, you should go and do it. And after that experience, I always recommend to people, before you buy a watch, just go into all the stores and try on as much stuff as you can. Like they're generally going to be, once you're in there, they're generally pretty cool. Like they're happy to give you some time and show you the pieces. Because they always want to make a sale eventually. So and they know that you're not going to buy something on the first occasion.
Yes.
So they always, you know what I mean? They want to build a relationship with you as a potential customer if they're a good salesperson, that is.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
So quick
Yeah.
funny one. So I had a mate that wanted to go watch shopping, so I took him around Sydney. All the places were like what you're saying. They're all friendly. They want to make a sale, treat you really well. And then we got into the Rolex boutique, whatever it is there, and no one wanted to go near you. And then when one guy did, he walked up to us and he basically said it was something along the lines of like, "Are you actually going to buy something?" And I turned around to him. I said, "Do you actually have anything that you can sell?" And he said, "No." I said, "Well, there's your answer. I'm just here checking out what you got in the window. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice day."
Yeah.
God, Scratchy's got a good comment here. He went to the Rolex AD in Sydney and he was told to buy from the grey market because they would never sell him a watch without spend history.
Yeah, rude.
Wow.
Yeah.
They've never said that in Melbourne. They never said that in Melbourne. They would always be like, "Oh yeah, we'll put you on the wait list," and they never say to your face. That's actually refreshing to hear that. Like I think they should tell you that. Like I'd rather they're upfront and tell you to your face, "Hey, fuck off," unless you've got a spend history. It's better like be upfront. Like don't say, "Oh yeah, we'll put you on the wait list. We'll call you." You know what I mean? Like because they're never going to. So.
Richard saying they don't want to build relationships. You're wrong about that one. They have enough, so they don't need any more. That's the way it is.
They have it. No, I'm talking not Rolex buyers and Patek buyers, Rich. I'm talking about just general punters coming in off the street looking at a Breitling or a Zenith or an Oris or something like that. Like most people going into ADs, they're not buying Rolex or Patek. They want to buy a nice watch. They want an Omega.
Yeah.
They're just, you know what I mean?
Let me ask you this.
90% of punters going in there are just, they're not us. They're not watch people. They're just the person that wants to get a new watch and, you know, buy something for them or their wife or whatever.
Let me ask you this. Someone walks in, right? So someone walks into Omega and they get the regular service from Omega. You know, come in, have a look at this, try them on. They talk about the history, this, that, the other. Nice. They might not buy anything. They walk into Rolex. They get the treatment that my friend and I got. Basically, if you're not here for anything serious, fuck off, right? Which shop do you think that person's going to go back to and buy from in the future? Just due to treatment. They're not going to go to the Rolex. And I know that they don't need the customers now, but at some stage in their future, they may need those people. And guess what? They fucking burnt every bridge from here to Timbuktu on it.
Some people will want the Rolex. Some people will want to go back because they want to get it. They want to be like, no, I'm going to get the Rolex. Fuck you. And it becomes a game. You know what I mean? Like, treat them mean, keep them keen. Have you heard that saying? Like,
Yeah,
that's what
but not with watches.
No, well, that's what's been happening, I reckon. Like, why do you think people want Rolexes? Because they can't get them. It's become a game. It's like, I want the Rolex because I can't get it. That's why they've done it. They've pumped up demand because they've made them artificially scarce. That's why everyone wants them, man.
What are your opinions, Y2K, on ADs? Have you ever... Do you think there's anything missing from current luxury watch buying experience that you wish brands would address? Or have you ever walked away from a purchase due to retailers' attitude or sales tactics? You there, Y2K?
Yes, I am.
What's your opinion on ADs?
Okay, so
from ADs, Y2K.
I would say, like, for 80s wise,
in Singapore,
yeah, locally it's fine. But I would share like an experience that we went to Marina Bay Sands. I went with another watch junkie, and we were at Patek. Okay, this is not Rolex, this is Patek. So he was wearing a Patek watch, and he was with his kid, and I was bringing him to the Patek shop, and we had like 5 people who were standing over right at the entrance, basically just blocking the door. And we could have been 2 potential customers and 1 child. But the thing is that it doesn't matter if you have stock or not. It doesn't matter if you have anything to sell. When you see a client who's wearing your product, wanting to go in, and you block them at the door, what the hell does it tell your customers? That you don't give a crap about them spending money in your shop? Or, you know, I know we're not dressed for it, but it's so hot. No one's going to be wearing, like, you know, Armani suits and going in with 35 degrees Celsius with 100% humidity outside. We're not going to wear Armani suits. So the thing about the 80s here is that they do look at how you look. From head to toe, they always look at you from head to toe, what you're wearing. And then they stray their eyes to your wrist to see what you're wearing for your wrist. And they're basically sizing you up to see if you can afford it or not. So the moment I walk to an AD, if I see that, I'm like, this kind of shop really has that kind of like double standards to see certain people. And the ADs here, I don't know about other countries, but the ADs here, they do look at your nationality, which means which country you're from. And some of these ADs actually do very well to do, you know, Rolex one being one of them. Not all Rolex shops, but some Rolex shops. And the biggest Patek shop that was in Marina Bay Sands, that was a real turn-off. And recently, another one of our friends who come from overseas, he came, and I brought him to the Patek shop, and I'm like, we're not going inside there because of the bad experience. So it just takes one-off bad experience, and that's it. Your customer's not coming back anymore. And frankly, if I was to go to the grey market, there's a reason why, because the grey market people may be treating your potential customers better than the AD. So yeah, but that's what I got to share with you guys. And personally, I find that some of the shops that have more variety of different brands, not just one brand. They have like Cartier, they got Chopard, they got Blancpain, and then maybe JLC. I find that they're a lot more receptive towards having customers coming in than those that are just selling one brand. Yeah. But of course, I'm not saying that it's all one brand shops that are bad. I'm just saying that some of the one, they're just selling one brand. For those, they're really nasty for some of them here. Yeah, just to share with all of you.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Just on top of that, can I just share as well that, like, in Ireland, Dublin is our capital, so there is a couple of ADs in some of the other major cities, Cork and Galway, Limerick. But Dublin, all of the ADs have an open door policy. There's no security on the doors up there. They have always been very welcoming to me and have always given me loads of time, whether I wanted to look at IWC, Panerai, Rolex, whatever it is. So my experience, that's my own internal idiosyncrasies / neuroses. Nothing to do with any experience. I just want to be honest about that, because I don't want to be.
Sure. I mean, have you ever walked away from a specific purchase or due to resales attitude or anything, Ben?
No, never had. Like a bit like JCB, I always knew what I wanted. I've only ever made 2 purchases through an AD, Black Bay 58 and a Speedy, and I was certain that I wanted those 2 watches at the time. So I've never been treated badly in any of the places I've been. They've always gone the extra mile, and I'm a relative nobody. There are people spending, millions, literally 7 digits per annum in some of these places, buying jewelry for their wives and buying wedding presents and watches. So I genuinely can have no complaints, only praise for anybody I've ever dealt with in these places.
Yeah.
You should take advantage of that, man, and just go in there whenever you're in town and go try on some pieces.
I know some of the other boys in the group, they go in all the time. They try stuff on. They're posting pictures online. They try and they peruse, and ultimately they do buy as well. But as you said earlier, JCB, it's nobody thinks that anyone's going to buy on first look. It's always you look at a few pieces, you come back. It's a few months, maybe even a couple of years down the road.
Yeah, I find that in the UK in general, in my town anyway. I mean, you can go around or any of the boutiques and you can try stuff on generally. Rolex, maybe not. I mean, they're generally very good. If anything's in the window, they'll let you try it on. In London, it's different. I've found that with higher end boutiques, when you start seeing watches like Urworks in the window and on Bond Street especially, and Richard Mille, I tried to go in the Richard Mille boutique. I got exactly the same as Y2K. Look you up and down, see what you're wearing, see what you got. Have you got an appointment? Sorry, slam the door in your face.
You go in wearing a Borat outfit then. Fucking.
But there's another watch shop which on Bond Street, which was all expensive. Grubel Forces, Works, high-end independents. That was the same. It was sorry, you're not coming in, sort of thing, And
I like your watch, yes.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
isn't nice? I like your G-Shock. Very nice.
That'll give the Rolex security guard something to look at.
We are going with a mankini and a watch.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I thought you might have this grey suit for some reason.
No, I mean, go in with the full-on Borat thing going.
Has anyone had an unexpected factor that's influenced your decision to buy a particular watch? beyond brand or price, has it always been aesthetics, or what determines your purchase decisions? Is it brand heritage and clout, or is it movement quality, or
Mainly for me, quality, as in movement quality or design or whatever, or if it's a heritage or a vintage kind of piece, because I like those things. But the Rolex, for me, my grandfather had a vintage OP in black dial. So for me, the Explorer was more the natural choice. Sort of like, an ode to him, but with a bit of it's my own style, I guess, my own version of it.
yeah? Anyone else? I mean, for me, it's aesthetics. I mean, I purely on aesthetics of what. It's about the dial. I'm a dial man. It's about the dial of the watch. It's about the what I like about the dial. Really, it's not about brand clout, or whether it's a Rolex, or whether it's a, I'll buy any brand. I'm not into the whole investment thing. I'm not into that. It's just about, do I like the watch? Do I like the dial? Do I like does it wear nicely? Does it does it appeal in general? I think that applies to most of us, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm definitely a dial man. I just need to have some self-awareness when it comes to. I have a bias towards black dial field watches. Like, that's evident in my collection. So I'm just drawn to that stuff. Tom A is asking, have you guys discussed the new Railmaster? That's the kind of watch I like. Hamilton Murph, Rolex Explorer, Railmaster, anything fieldy. Contrast is great. White indices on a black dial. Nice case, maybe a vintage style case. So I have to be aware of that bias, else I'll end up with just a box full of field watches.
Yeah, I totally understand you, Ben. I had this obsession first with collecting like different types of watches, and then I started collecting maybe vintage watches. Maybe like 10 years ago, I started having this obsession of getting watches from every era. But after all these trends of collecting experience that I have, I think now I'm just buying what I feel gives me evokes some kind of emotional reaction, and it needs to be unique. It needs to be something that I won't see if I go to an event or at work or something. I won't see on the wrists of other people. So that's for me one of the biggest factors in buying watches now.
I put up this, when I was in that period when I was going to the ADs for like 6 months and trying on watches. There was like 2 or 3 watches that when I put them on my wrist, they just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I remember this scene from The Godfather. I think this is Godfather Part 2, where Michael Corleone is he sees this hot chick, and the scene in the movie was you got hit by the thunderbolt. And that's exactly how I described it. Like, for me, it's like when I try on the watch, it's got to hit me. It's got to have that feeling. I've got to have that. It's that thunderbolt. That's what I'm looking for now. I don't fuck around with anything that doesn't give me that feeling. That's where I'm at now. So there's a couple of watches that I tried on. One of them was the watch you've got, Tom, the A384 Zenith. I put that one on, and it was just like, man.
Yeah.
Like, because it's all individual, right? It's about how it fits on your wrist. It's about what you like aesthetically. It's how the case feels. There's all of these factors that come together. And when it comes onto your wrist, if it gives you that feeling, then that's the one that they stick with you. So yeah, I was there's only been a few watches that have been like that. So that's what I'm looking for now. That's what drives me now, Tom. It's the Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
Mason once saying he likes a company called Watches World, but it's 50 fathoms from there. And good to see Underachieving Watch Collector. Nice to see you in the chat. And Mikey Casio GTS saying it's the size and the case that fits for him when he's buying a watch. Talking about hands and handset, I just wanted to the Railmaster, the Tomei mentioned. I just wanted to put a link to a video the Watches with Dennis did about his 5 watch pet peeves that actually aren't a problem, and also to a live stream that he did about Let's Talk watch pet peeves last week on his channel, which was really good. And I wanted to just get your opinions on some handsets, and are there any of these handsets that you really dislike or like? I mean, we've got these really thin pencil hands Nomos do. We've got alpha hands on Lange. We've got baton hands from Rolex. We've got Breguet hands. We've got the Brodar hands from Omega. We've got Mercedes hands from Rolex. We've got the Cathedral hands. We've got these leaf hands from Moser. We've got Dauphine hands from Patek. We've got syringe hands from Patek. Snowflake hands from Tudor. Pencil hands on this JLC Polaris. And skeleton hands on the Master Professional. Are there any we really dislike or like? I hate these skeleton hands.
On screen right now, that's out of all the ones that went past. I was waiting for this one so I could say how ugly they are.
Yeah, I'm with you, Timely. I really dislike these. I mean,
the only other thing I hate on a handset is when the counterweight on the seconds hand is some kind of branding or bullshit, like a 007 or what Ball do with their thing or Invicta do with their thing. Fucking shit to no end. Otherwise, no dramas. But
so gimmicky.
Ugly.
I had this watch, and it actually the hands weren't too bad. They were bad, but they weren't super bad.
I had the 2012, same sort of handset, but fucking that's why I got rid of it.
Was it the previous generation one?
It was the like the GoldenEye look. It was the transitional between the GoldenEye and this.
I think
so. It had the GoldenEye dial, but it was a black dial watch. But this thing here, man, like these handsets on those ones, they should have kept the pre-bond handset. The what do you call them? Like the triangle kind of look things.
Sword hands.
They're sort of like sword hands.
The 2254 sword hands was they're the hands you want. Yeah, they're great.
They actually had a pre-bond that had a Mercedes hour hand.
Yeah, they did.
It was 2 types.
I mean, Dennis in his video, he said that he didn't like cathedral hands. What do you think of those?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of them either.
I'm not too keen. I mean, he said they were like a squat version of Mercedes hands. So you get Mercedes, and then you get them Mercedes so squashed in his tulip shape.
Yeah.
I didn't like the first ones you had up, Tom. I think it was the Nomos, those really
Nomos.
thin pencil hands. Yeah, I don't like those ones.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, same. There's nothing else really.
I could live with the handset, just probably not on that watch.
Yeah. Very
This-
thin to read, yeah, but
There's nothing crazy off-putting to me about any of those, but I have certain favorites. I love the Dauphine hands on the Patek.
yeah.
Grand Seiko used the same hands
Dauphine's
a lot
cool, yeah.
through their range.
Mason one likes these alpha hands. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah,
And
they're
the other
nice.
standout, I love the broad arrow hands as well on certain Omega.
Yeah.
This one is my favorite on the Brigade.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about those.
Broader hands. What do you think to the rail? I mean, the Railmaster has a broad arrow on the hour, but not on the minute. And a lot of I think some of the Aquaterras or some of the other Omegas have a broad arrow on the minute, but not on the hour.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
I find that really weird. I wish Omega would just stick to this pointers, arrows on both hands.
Yeah.
That's a little gripe of mine. But yeah, I mean the Breguet hands, Abdul, they're lovely and they're just classical.
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah. This is the 7147.
That's your watch, Tom.
This is the one I'm lusting after, everyone. Yeah. This is one I'm lusting after.
Hey, look, with those blued hands and everything, you could wear those with a pair of jeans. And a nice
you could,
shirt.
yeah. Russell's right. You could wear them with a pair of jeans. Yeah.
You gotta do it, man. Do it, Tom.
Any others? Leaf hands. What do we think to dials with no indices on and no numerals or?
Oh, I love that. I love that watch. Like
goes to dials.
I just think that's so classic. The crown, the case, like the dial is wonderful, but as a total amalgamation of a watch, that's so cool. But I love Moser anyway, so I definitely have a bias there.
Yeah. And you like the Dauphine hands, too, Ben?
Yeah, I do. Grand Seiko use the same hands across much of their range as well.
Yeah.
They're very cool. And the way that they polish them with the kind of the black Zaratsu polish, they have fantastic definition.
Yeah, so got a few comments. Scratchy doesn't like the Nomos hands or syringe hands and Patek either. So it doesn't like these. I love syringe hands.
Yeah, they're cool.
Quick question. How do you set the time on something that doesn't have anything on the dial, like a sterile dial?
You guess.
You're guessing, I guess.
You wait till it's midday or something.
I have my Philippe Cluc. It has a sterile dial like this one, only the emblem on the top. And I only set it when it's either 12 or 30 or 45 or 15. So I know that it's 90 degrees perpendicular angle. So the seconds is whatever. So it's
when I'm about to go to work, I've got probably about 2 or 3 minutes to get a watch set up and ready to go. And if it's like 7 minutes past something, forget it. This thing's staying home.
Yeah. I set it the day before. So I choose the watch I'm wearing
Not me.
The day before, so I wind it up because it's hand wind. So I wind it up, set the time when it's on the perpendicular time, and then wear it the next day.
Well, Snowflake. A lot of people have an issue with Snowflake hands.
I like Snowflake.
I like Snowflake.
Yeah,
I know JCB says that they get on chronographs because he's a chronograph guy.
Yeah.
They don't go well on chronographs because they block the dials.
But Thomas, you're forgetting one very important point. That's his problem.
I don't like it when you on the what is it, the Tudor Black Bay chronograph, you've got the snowflake hand with the round plots. I think if you got to have snowflake hand, you got to have square plots.
Yeah, like this. Yeah,
Like, that's cool.
like the Pelagos, yeah.
Yeah.
And the old vintage 9411 Submariner.
Like every one of their best-selling watches, the Black Bay, they all have the square clots. Yeah.
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 It doesn't. They all have round ones.
So just quickly
throwing it out
skip on to another question.
Can
Do
I
we
just give
have
us, just before you move on, Tom, a special mention to the IWC 3706 and a neo vintage chronograph.
Yeah, with the cut off.
The cut off our hand, yeah.
The cut off our hand.
It's one of the coolest handsets.
Do we have any other pet peeves, like helium escape valves?
I hate
Yeah.
Helium escape valves, small subdials,
Small
that tell the
dates.
time,
Small dates are
dials,
always-
power reserves,
No. Shitty date
dials,
position windows, like at 4 o'clock.
or
Weird.
small, 4 o'clock date windows, or small or low out of symmetry sub registers on chronographs.
Don't you dare criticize that watch.
The 1815 chronograph.
Wait till he brings up the Zeitwerk. I'll tell you what it looks like.
That's a perfect chrono.
So, any other pet peeves we've got? Just to go to watches with Dennis's topic.
I've got one pet peeve. It's when the dial looks like something, like for example, there's a JLC chronograph or something, and it looks like a jack-o'-lantern because it's even in the that kind of a color. The Zeitwerk looks like a kid in a soccer jersey. When it looks like something other than a watch, and all you can see is that, like a smiling face or something stupid.
No,
Anyone
I hate
else?
the helium escape valves are the worst for me, especially on this kind of Omega, because the watch itself is a good watch, but just the helium escape valve just ruins it for me. Why? Like, I'm not going to dive with this watch. Just get a version of this watch that doesn't have the helium escape valve. I think a lot of people would buy it. And also, if you go two pictures to the right, when you're talking about the power reserve on the dial, that's a perfect dial. Why ruin it with a power reserve on the front? Just put it on the back side. It's an automatic watch. It's a spring drive. You wouldn't need to always watch if the wind is wound or not.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I'm with you on these power reserves on Grand Seiko. So the Omo Atari, which they started to put them on the back now on the case back. Grand Seiko, and they look so much better. Because they're masters of dials, Grand Seiko.
Yeah,
and it looks so much nicer without the power reserve on.
I've got a solution for that. Buy the 9F quartz version and save yourself 3,000 in the meantime.
You're just biased, Ben.
That's for sure.
The Seamaster looks like it was in a bullfight as well and lost a horn.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
You know,
So
if they put the crown on the 2 o'clock position, I would actually be okay with the watch. So it has like really
it's got
like
symmetry.
horns, right?
It's got symmetry.
It has the symmetry, but now it's just like, why? You know.
What about 430 dates and little small dials like this?
I like 430 dates if they're.
I do. I don't mind them
because you get all the indices. Then the whole reason for it is that you don't have to drop an indice, and it's hidden. Generally, it'll be color matched with the dial, and it's there if you need it.
Man, the exception being the new Breguet Type 20 with the 430 dial, with the 430 date. Have you seen that? They just messed that whole watch up.
When you're in your fighter plane and you're engaging the enemy, you want to know what date it is that you shot him down on.
No, but like 430 date can be done really well, and it can be done really bad as well. Like, they fucked the whole watch just because of that. Like, honestly, I've got to pull up a picture now. It's really bad.
What do you think to these then, JCB, being our chronograph guy? What do you think to unsymmetrical subdials?
Yeah, look, it's a funny one. It's a funny one.
It is a funny
Normally, you would have the subdial sitting up in plane with the 9 and 3. Yeah, this is a sort of a Lange thing, although Patek does it a little bit as well.
Patek as well, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's. I think it's cool. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's no problem.
And
like,
also cut off
Yeah.
numerals. What do you think to those?
I don't mind them. I never mind them.
yeah, no, it's cool. Yeah, I don't mind it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't knock this watch, man. There's nothing you can say about
Yeah.
this watch that you can knock.
You know,
at
it's
all.
funny. Like I knocked the Daytona because the Daytona subdials are not on the central plane or radius or
Yeah.
whatever you call that.
They
They're
used to be.
dropped a little bit. They used to be, yeah. I kind
With
of
the
wish they
Zenith
were.
movement. Yeah.
The Venice
But then I
movement,
won't
yeah.
criticize the 1815, and it's a lot worse there. So I'm just
Yeah, but they're sort of like deliberately down. With the Daytona, they're just a little bit down.
exactly.
Yeah, it messes with your head a bit. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah, Scratch is saying he hates the skinny helium escape valve on the Omega, but like how Rolex and Tudor do with just the
Yeah, they do it flush with the
button.
case, don't they?
Yeah, they just got a little button that you press.
I'd love
Good
to know
see-
how many helium escape valve watch owning people have ever
Good-
used it.
Good to see you, Jamie. Yeah, that's a good point, Ben. Yeah. What else have we got? This one's 430 dates can be done well. Some are crap. He has 2 watches for 430 dates for 50 fathoms and no time, and they're good. So
I think if you make the date too small, you just leave it. Just don't put it.
well, this would be a good one for a timely. What do you have a favorite vintage watch? And
All of
the rest of the panel, all of them.
Look, to be honest, if you were to say to me, just I have to pick one right now, it's either going to be there's a particular dial I like out of the 1940s Reverso range. It's not one of the ones that have been redone. They made so many different dials. Or again, to Ben's point before, the 6538 Submariner, the James Bond one.
Right. Anyone else? Anyone else got a favorite vintage watch?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the 2499 Patek Grand Complication. That's a perpetual.
Oh yeah, the John Lennon watch.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is just honestly
Just amazing.
the greatest one. People say that's one of the greatest Pateks ever made, and I'll probably have to agree with that. It's just
absolutely amazing watch. Chronograph perpetual calendar. Yeah.
Imagine the service cost on that.
Who gives a fuck what the service cost is, man? Honestly, you got one of those. That's the least of your problems, mate.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm a big fan of the 1655, the Explorer too.
Good call.
Yeah,
good shout. Yeah, I just think there's so much fun, and I've had a lot of fun. And Timely will attest to this. Although this has to be taken with a health warning. In vintage Omega, like there's just across all different price.
Absolutely, Ben.
You might get one for
100%.
under 1,000. You might get one. I saw a really nice. It was a Railmaster Seamaster 600s, but it had a Railmaster style dial on it for 1,500 quid. I thought, if that's authentic, actually,
You know what's a real nice piece as well, vintage, if you like that? The Ranchero.
Ranchero, very cool.
Ranchero, yeah, I had a Seamaster Ranchero, the Feachero.
Yeah.
I ended up selling that. Yeah.
And if I was
Ranchero's a lovely that. Sorry, Ben.
I was thinking this morning after say 8 years in the hobby, if you could come up with a collection for say under 3,000 or even under 2,000 of an affordable collection, I'd have a turtle as the diver. I'd have the Murph as your Gada, and then I'd buy a vintage Omega as the dress watch. I think you can get something really, really cool. And there's a plethora of stuff out there. All sorts of different case shapes, dials. Obviously, it comes with the word of warning, like Timely was talking about last week or 2 weeks ago, to do your research. And actually, I might send you a link, Timely, just to verify that the thing is authentic, which is difficult.
In the private chat, whatever, flick your details somewhere I can contact you. And whenever you come across something, just flick me a picture and I'll get back to you.
Okay, brilliant.
Easy.
Yeah, excellent.
So, do you perceive there to be too many pitfalls of buying vintage?
Oh my God, where to start? There are many. Yeah. Many and varied. I think you need to be. I spoke to Aaron about this during the week. You need to be a bit chilled out when it comes to buying vintage watches, because you're never going to get. And Aaron is very. I was surprised. Like, I want everything matching. Like, I want to look at the bracelet reference and the case reference and the dial and know that everything is from the right era, that the hang tags are from the right era, that the box is from the right era, and that's becoming increasingly difficult as these things get older. Aaron surprised me actually, because I was talking to him about the vintage Datejusts, and I saw some lovely linen dials and anniversary dials, really cool stuff. He's like, don't get hung up on the dials. Just get a good condition watch and you can swap the dial out later. Which I think you need to be like
blasphemous.
Yeah, I thought it was
blasphemous.
You kind of need to be chill about vintage, because it's hard to get it right. Like, it's hard to get it perfect.
My thing is, if you're going to do that, that's fine. Just keep the original one still. And then later on, if you're going to move it on or whatever, you can offer both dials to the potential buyer so that he can keep it original if he wants. And he can have the one that you've got on it. The main pitfall with with a vintage watch is parts.
Yes.
The older it gets, the harder it gets to source parts.
Yeah. True.
And the point that Chili Badger just makes there, like, your chance of meeting a Frankenstein is
well, this is the thing.
pitfalls.
I've made my bones, so I know a bit about them, so I can dive into it. But at the same time, I've got a vintage Waltham here from 1908 that's sitting on my shelf, and it's been sitting on my shelf now for probably about almost a year, because I can't find a hairspring for it because they're so rare. And I need to find there's a guide where it's for, you know, the hairspring that'll fit this watch might be on another 3 other watches, so I can try and find another caliber that matches, that makes sense, from another brand. But yeah, if you can't find the parts, your shit will sit here for a long time waiting to be used. It's just that simple.
One other piece of advice that I think is, don't buy anything from Italy, Turkey, or India, because that's where I see the most Frankensteins originate from.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah, you gotta be very buying used and vintage. You gotta be very wary about where you're buying from. You gotta be very wary about where you're buying from, and in us based in Europe, there's certain countries that you gotta dodge, haven't you, Ben?
Yeah, I think so. Well, certainly in my experience, that's where the most Frankensteins tend to originate from. The Italy, Turkey, and India. But then certain things, like, as I say, if you're chill about it, like, if something has gone in for a service, there is a chance the crown might have been replaced, or hands have to be original, in my view. But if you get a signed crown and it's not quite the original, you know, are you going to be happy with that or no? I tend to kind of, these things are going to happen. So yeah, it all depends on your mindset.
Yeah. Do we have any watches still on our most wanted list? I know you're after Speedy JCB.
Yeah, so what was that, man?
Do you have anyone? Do you have any watches still on our most wanted list?
Yeah, just for me, it's a Speedy, the current gen 3861 Sapphire Sandwich. Yeah, that was one of the watches that gave me that lightning bolt. So, up until that point, I'd never really considered having a Speedy. They were just never on my radar. Just didn't really care about them. My dad's got a Speedy, so I always thought, yeah, I'll eventually have a Speedy one day. It'll get passed down. So they just weren't on my radar. But when I went and tried it on in the AD, it just was like meant to be on my wrist. So yeah, I think this year will be the year. Hopefully, I'm hoping anyway.
Anyone else? I mean, me, it's a Breguet. It's Breguet. That's on my most wanted list. Anyone else, Abdul?
Yeah, this year I'm going for the Lyrique Air Soutante. It would be a jump hour, so that would be my big purchase for the year. The small purchase that I'm thinking about doing would be in the next couple of months, the Hanhat. I'm between the red and blue chronograph or the new
417 ES.
417 ES with the Panda dial and the luminous subdials. So the chronograph has a luminous subdial, 39 millimeters, flyback chronograph, 5 jewels. Fantastic looking watch. Don't know if you saw it before, but I think you will like it also, GCB. It just looks really nice. I'll try to get it quickly.
What about Y2K? Have you got any watches you've still got on your most wanted list?
I think Heinhardt mainly. A lot of it I'm really watching is mainly on the pricing at this point. So I think I can't remember the digits, but one of the Heinhardts is actually very attractive.
The Heinhardt,
yeah. I think it was the one that looked like it's got a steampunk look, white dial. I think is it the 417 or something?
Yeah, the 417. I love that as well. Yeah.
So I think mainly because with all the watch prices and everything, nothing gets cheaper. And I'm not saying that that's the only one. I mean, they've got Panerai that's actually looking very nice. But I think
it's gorgeous.
Money wise, I'll just stick on for Heinhardt for now. Maybe I might go and check out Citizen because they've actually got some nice ones. And today I did catch on and I quite like the Seiko Presage. There's one that's actually like looks like a full gold with a brown dial. Seiko Presage full gold brown dial, and I think that's actually very nice. And if you don't want to spend too much money, I think it's something you can actually consider. Yeah.
So I've been around everyone.
I am definitely going to own a 16233 before 2025 is out. I see that in my future immediately.
So that's the day,
I'm working on it. Yeah.
I've got my own Parnas 40mm diver. I can't even fucking say it straight. So for me, I'm pretty content. But if a Ranchero, Cichero, Railmaster came up, and I could do it, I would do it. But otherwise, there's not like a friend had a bubbleback Rolex. They're fun, they're great. It was nice, but I would prefer one of those, like a Ranchero or something like that, or the Railmaster. If an original came up and I could get it, I'm on it.
You'd be looking for original and top class condition, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And then I would die of radium poisoning or whatever shit that it had and die happily.
They're pretty generally. I mean, if you find one in good condition, even still, they're pretty like affordable. The Ranchero line because they're just they're pretty unpopular, right?
Yeah, it's one of the ones at the moment that are a bit undercover, I guess. But
that's good. That's the stuff. That's the best buying. The stuff that's
I probably fucked it up now.
No one knows about it. You find those little pockets of stuff. That's
really little vintage nuggets that are still out there that haven't been tapped yet.
Vintage nuggets, yeah.
I take it most of us plan our purchases. Do any of us impulse buy?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely, Abdul does. Yeah, Abdul.
Yeah. I do have a problem with that.
Dude, you're
Yeah.
giving them away to your relatives when you go. That's how many fucking impulse
You
buys
came
you
to
do.
the wrong place for therapy, man. You came.
The
to
guy's
the wrong-
giving them away.
Yeah, the issue sometimes it's just the deal is so good. It's like, for how much is this watch? If I buy 3, I get what? Oh, why not?
His impulse buying so bad that his relatives are saying, "Hey, Abdul, why don't you think about one of these ones?" Because they just know it's going to
Yeah,
come back to
yeah,
them anyway.
exactly. Right.
They're putting in their order beforehand now.
Send me pictures of the
Yeah.
watch, and I'm like, wow, that looks like something I'm buying anyways. Oh, okay.
And if you check out Abdul's channel, Abdul R Watches, he's done a great video recently on how cheap Chinese watches can be good watches. And you picked up a watch for
€23.
23 euros and 50 cents, didn't you?
Mm.
And
Yeah, hand wind, original movement, original case, original dial design. Works great until now. I have to say, I when I saw it also, I was like, 23 euros. My straps cost more than that. Okay, I just buy it and try it out. Worst case scenario, I'll give it to one of my cousins. So it's not.
See what I mean? Fuck, his cousins are cleaning up. There's a watch box, and like his cousins have got like a 60 fucking spot watch box or something.
I don't generally tend to impulse buy, but I mean, I think that my mad one, I was a bit of an impulse buy, because the raffle comes up and you think, oh, I've got to get one of these. But generally, yeah, FOMO, yeah, YOLO, you only live once.
Not trying to put shit on the Mad Watches, but what it reminds me of is, remember those as seen on TV vegetable cutters where you feed the thing in and the blades just like chop it up?
I tell you what, going back to pet peeves, that's one of my pet peeves. The Mad one is really crap.
It's a thick bastard too, isn't it?
No, it's really crap at gaining power reserve because it hasn't got crown to wind, only just the time, and you have to keep be constantly keep flicking your wrist to spin the rotor to keep it charged up. So you can't. It doesn't like a normal rotor. If you swing your arm, it charges up. You have to actually keep flicking your wrist to charge it up. So you'll find that after wearing it after a couple of hours, a few hours, maybe 5 hours or so, it stops. So unless you've been flicking your wrist constantly.
So if I see a bloke walking down the road with this fucking mad twitch in his left arm, I know he's got a...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just watch more porn, Tom.
There you go.
Yeah, so go back to, giving watches to people. Is there a watch in your collection you'd be willing to give up and hand down to your descendants?
Abdul.
And why?
I can answer for Abdul. All of them.
All of them, properly, yeah.
The entire Black Forest is covered.
This goes back to the thing I was saying earlier about wearing your watches. Like one of my watches at the moment, I just don't really wear it anymore. It's my El Primero because it's a bit of a dressy watch, and I bought it to wear with a suit. That was the watch I used to wear when I wore my suit and I went to the office. Now I don't go to the office. I sit at home and I do my work.
So wear it in your birthday suit then. Who cares? Don't worry.
No, but instead of selling, I could sell that watch and get a Speedy tomorrow. But I want to keep that watch because one of my sons will wear that watch one day. I want to pass it down.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's just such a beautiful watch. It's such a great watch. I just don't want to get rid of it. So that's the one I want to keep and pass down for sure.
Hey, my kids have already gone shopping. They know what they're having.
They've already been through
there's already stickers on them and shit. Like they already had a fucking, what is it, flea market or something? Yeah, they already.
What about you, Ben? Any particular watch you wouldn't sell to?
I won't sell the 16570. I'll pass that on to my son, and I can't wait. What a cool watch to inherit.
Sorry, just for me, reference Explorer 2?
Explorer 2, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Explorer 2 up until around 2010.
Nice.
I mean, that was going to be the next question. Which would be the last watch in your collection that you'd sell and why?
It's on screen.
So it's not for you to reverse our time.
Yeah, because otherwise, what would I wear on horseback while I'm chasing the fucking ball?
While you're playing polo?
True.
That's a hard question, Tom. I think if I had only one watch, it would be between my Lyrique 1 and my Philippe Cluc because of the customization. Maybe the date just from my grandfather because of the heirloom factor. So
and I don't think we include sentimental watches. I mean, we're obviously going to keep watches we've inherited or.
Yeah. Hang on, Tom. He said it's hard the way you phrased it. Let me rephrase it. Abdul, out of all your watches, which one aren't you going to give away?
I think it would be the Philippe Cluc or the Lyrique. Both. I wouldn't give these away. Both of them. I have two wrists. I can wear they're only time only.
Love it. So I mean, we recently transpired that a lot of luxury items are made in China. Does it bother you that a lot of brands are effectively hiding this manufacturing process from us? A lot of brands, Omega and stuff, making their cases in China and getting parts from China. A lot of Swatch Group watches. Does that really bother us, or do people mind?
Well, it bothers me from the point of view that I started writing this composition on our watch group, and I just couldn't phrase it in concise terms that I wanted to, but to me, it just emphasizes the fact that we're completely overpaying for our luxury goods. Maybe some people are okay with that because ultimately it's about the status. It doesn't matter if what you pay doesn't inherently reflect the materials, the research, everything involved in putting that watch together, because you want the price to remain high, because you don't want other people entering into that level of status, and it gives you a certain level of status. But I don't know. I guess I've always been a champion of the affordable, and I look like watches at the Murph and the PRX, and I think they're brilliant watches, and you don't need to spend a fortune on watches. And knowing that they're made in China, and I have no doubt that Omega bracelets are being made in a factory in China because their quality seems to have reduced. Yeah. It kind of steals my view that there is a lot of fun to be had in the affordable segment, and that the whole luxury thing is a bit of a fugazi.
Yeah.
And also the Swiss made moniker as well, like there's this whole thing about how much percentage the watch has to be made in Switzerland, and there's there's sort of laws about minimum quantity and stuff. Like, who cares? I'm just an average punter. If it says Swiss made on the dial, I expect the thing to be Swiss made, not half of it or 39% made in a factory in China. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. To me, I had an Omega Seamaster. We had the Sword Hands Seamaster up before. I had that watch, and I sold it because the bracelet was so terrible. It scratched the hell out of me. It was really sharp, and I just couldn't. I couldn't sit there going. I spent $6,000 Australian on it was more actually, $6,500 Australian on a watch where I can't wear the watch because of the bracelet. So that was the part where it pissed me off, was about, and whether it was made in China, or whether it was made in Switzerland, or whether it was made in South Africa, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that I'm paying for so much money for a watch and it's got
Yeah.
shitty parts. That's the thing that pissed me off.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, the
I mean-
idea of Swiss made, you know, like it has to be more than 50% of the cost incurred in Switzerland. So that means that the manufacturing most probably will take place in China. The quality control will take place in Switzerland. So because the engineer that sits on the production line to assess the quality of the watch in Switzerland.
Mm.
Oh, Abdul just froze.
Oh, sorry.
And so serious looking too.
Where did I left off? Sorry, the internet just. I was just saying that the costs incurred in Switzerland basically goes on the quality control. It doesn't goes on the manufacturing. You know, I've been involved in the process of manufacturing the Lorique watch, the first three, and we aim to have only 100% Swiss-made parts, Swiss-made manufacturers. And it was a hassle to find, because every time we talk to a supplier, we ask around, and it comes out that he gets some parts from China, and then you know that he works with big brands, and then you see like how does he supplies them, and then you see pictures from the back end of some of these suppliers where they have models of big brands.
They got him again. Look.
Yeah, you're being hushed there, Abdul. You're saying too much.
Yeah,
Certain manufacturers
I think they want to silence me, right?
Okay, we'll never hear from Abdul again. He's just going to go missing.
I mean, do you think the in-house label is really that important, or just a marketing term? I mean, most brands source parts from other companies. Even Rolex did until they actually bought movement maker Agler, Gaufre, the bracelet maker, Baylor, the medallion maker, and Benici, the crown maker, in the past 20 years or so. So does building a very well-made case of crystal from a Chinese manufacturer really matter that much, do you think? Does in-house really matter?
I think there's something to me. It doesn't really matter. I'm not sure if it really matters, but I do put some weight on in-house, because the house has designed the movement, and they've tested it. They've put the money into the R&D, and they've come out with something, right? Rather than just going to Solida or Eta and buying the movement, So, with my Breitling, it's got a B01 in-house caliber, and I hold that in. That's important to me. I mean, not important, but for me, it's pretty cool. I like that. The fact that I've got an in-house chronograph caliber, that's a pretty good caliber that they designed and built. Maybe it's not built in-house. I don't know where all the parts come from or whatever, but at least it was designed, tested. They put the money into the R&D and all that sort of stuff. I think it's pretty cool.
I agree. So with the Reverso, it's all built in the one place. There's hand finishing on it. Not everything hand finished. Obviously, there's machine work there, but it's all done in the one place. It hasn't been outsourced or anything like that. But at the same time, I don't see anything wrong with outsourcing for a movement, depending on the price point. So, for example, the cost of the Reverso, if they were fitting it with something like an ETA or whatever, I'd be pissed off and I wouldn't have bought it. It's why I've got a bit of a problem with the Hoya Monaco. It's got a Solida with a module, and for the price that they're going for secondhand, I wouldn't pay that. They're all brand new for that. As cool as a watch may be, but at the same time, if I've got something for $5,000, $6,000, and it's got an ETA based movement in it, happy days, no problems. Just depends on what you're after. If you're after like haute horology and you get shoehorned, a generic movement, you'd be pissed off. But if you're paying for something like a sports watch and you get something generic and it's dressed up a little bit, okay, I'm good with that. Horses for courses, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, been going quite a while now. Just one more question. Which watch do you think could be your best one and done one? if there is such a thing.
From my collection or any watch?
Any watch. Any watch.
Look at this bloke.
That's nice.
So,
I could just
Yeah.
doesn't
so,
just go
so
straight over the top of Abdul by holding it up.
hold it up again, JCB.
Look at it.
That's what this is. This is why I bought it. Well, it came up. A mate of mine was selling it, and I love the GMT design, but I thought this watch, it's a one and done. Like you can wear this anywhere. It fits any occasion. It's a sports watch. You can wear it with a suit. You can wear it with a t-shirt. Honestly, I could sell all my watches and still keep this one, and this would get me through everything in life that I need to get through. That's why I went for this one, to be honest, because it just fit the bill as the one and done watch. It's a Rolex and all that shit, yada yada yada. But just the design and the bracelet, the size, everything about it was just like, man, it's just such a great watch.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Yeah, I've got my one and done here. This is the one, and that's why I bought it, because it's the one and done.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I did have a conversation with a couple of friends before. It was actually when the two-tone, what do we think we called it, the Bruce Wayne? We called it the Guinness here in Ireland at
Guinness
one point.
one, yeah.
That was, I think it retails for 18,000. At the time, I probably had that in the collection. I was like, sell everything, get that watch. You could wear it in the pool. You could dress it up, dress it down. And the GMT Master, I think, is probably the ultimate one and done watch.
Yeah, for me, it's of late, it's been the Polar Explorers 2. It's that could be my one and done. I've been wearing that since I bought it in April last year. A year now, and it's been amazing. I love it. It's the white dial. As I get older, my eyes are gonna fade, and the white dial is so legible. With the black hands on the white dial, it's just fantastic. That's why I like the Breguet so much with the white dial.
Yeah. The contrast.
That could be one and done for me, to be honest with you.
Just before you go to other people, I'm going to go with you, Tom. Explorer 2 for me as well. That's
great watch.
So far, Rolex. Okay.
But what I say about the Explorer 2 as well, like it's kind of like the unloved child of. It's one of the children that Fred and Rose West would have killed off and buried under the patio. It's for that reason alone, I think it's not the most loved Rolex, but it's my most loved Rolex.
For me, I love it because it's the only tool watch still in the Rolex catalog. Everything else is silver jewelry, sparkly jewelry. I find, but not to this JCB's Bad Girl is beautiful. I love it, but. That's just one thing I found about the Explorer 2. So yours is timeless. Is yours the JLC Reverso again?
No, I don't think I could. I know I wear it playing polo, but I don't think I could swim with it. So probably have to say no for that one. No, not even the Black Bay. It was a toss up because the Black Bay is top heavy, right?
You don't have to own it. It could be a watch you don't own.
Yeah, I know, but it is one that I own. So this is the thing. The runner up in it is the Rail Master with a blue denim dial, but you can't wear the blue denim dial everywhere, so it has to be the Explorer one. 214, 270. I can wear it in a suit, swimming pool, shorts, naked, doesn't matter. It goes with everything. So far it's Rolex, which is pretty interesting to say, like, based on the question that we're all picking from the same brand. Not that we're all, it's because of the brand, it's because of the watch itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think that the Explorer one is jewelry either, if that makes sense. Like, it's still, I think it's one of the last Rolexes to retain its original roots, I guess.
Definitely.
Good to see you, Orange Hand.
Hey, Orange.
Yeah.
Orange, what up?
Y2K, what about you? What would be your one and done watch?
As most people would know, I'm always been a chunky monkey guy. So for me, a one and done watch has to be, as much as I love a lot of aviator pieces, like the Navy timer and all this. But for me, one key thing about one and done is it has to be a very high water resistance and it's very durable. So for me, I always support an underdog brand. One of the brands I would actually support would be, as always, Omega for me. I will do as I think the Ultra Deep. Okay, I think the Ultra Deep or the Planet Ocean collection has been the best so far because aside from the from the Helium Escape that sticks out and people don't like it, but one and done, it really is something that has to last. Despite the fact that you might like a good chronograph and stuff like that, but you really need to have it to be a very good water resistance. So for me, Ultra Deep is definitely one of my one and done piece, which I could definitely wear all the way. And I can change the NATO's. This is for the titanium version. I can change the NATO anytime I want, and it beats, and the depth rating beats the regular Sea Dweller. And for me, it's a lot about specs. It's not just about it's a luxury. For me, it's all about the specs. It's like opening car engine. So for me, that is definitely a one and done for me. A very good diver. If you get a GNT function on the diver, why not? Then it's even better. Yeah.
Yeah, great answer. And Abdul.
Like I was thinking about something from my collection, and if I had to only keep one from my collection and upgrade this one to be the only watch that I have, so it would be the Day-Date 36 Platinum, because I love my Datejust, and if I had to keep one watch that I would wear on the beach or in a meeting with academic or in an industrial meeting or whatever, it would be the Datejust. So to upgrade that just to be the Platinum Day-Date 36 millimeter fluted bezel, maybe Arabic numerals, that would be my one and done one.
Yeah, I mean, Mikey
You got a
got
lucky cousin.
PGS as Day-Date as well. He'd go with that.
Hey, you got a lucky cousin that's going to get that one later. Wow. That won't be your cousin.
What about you, Tom?
It'd be the Explorer 2.
Oh, sorry, the Explorer 2. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So it's 5
Yeah.
Rolexes and an Omega. There you go. No one said Patek 5130 or.
You cannot swim with a
5270.
Patek without feeling like you might damage it, right? Even if they say 30 meters water resistance is really 30 meters water resistance, I feel like I would rather swim with a Rolex Oyster case than any other premium luxury watch. Somehow I would feel safer wearing the Rolex. Somehow, at least only me. I don't know.
What do people think of the new burgundy dial, burgundy bezel BB58?
Nice.
I
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
On the Jubilee.
Yeah, on the Jubes, yeah.
Yeah, that's killer.
It is a killer, yeah. I like it too. Fucking.
I guess I'm the odd one out. I think it looks like what did I say that it was? Like I'm not going to say it, that's pretty bad, but I don't like the red, the sunburst style.
My mind is doing fucking trampoline.
I think we both went
somersaults
there.
now. Yeah,
Okay,
I think we probably went to the same place.
Okay, I'll say it then. It to me, it's like menstrual red. Like it's horrible. The original burgundy, that shit looks horrible. I'm sorry, and it's a tool watch, so why the fuck does it look a sunburst style?
Yeah,
like they're making it fancy now for no reason.
Oh, so just want to share links to ID Guy's channel again, and also to
that's brilliant.
Also to D-Time Love Show's channel. Yeah, we want to get ID Guy, try and get ID Guy to 100,000 subscribers if we can, and or help a little bit to get him to that goal, and get D-Time Love Show to 95,000 subscribers if we can.
Can I just say,
That'd
Chili
be
Badger's
great.
nickname is brilliant for the BB-58. Well done.
The Bloody Mary.
The Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Oh, that's what I said.
Also, email us your wrist shots, guys. We're going to do a wrist shot show. So everyone out in the chat, email Explorer. It's Explorer2 with 200 at yahoo.com. Yeah, it'll be good to get your wrist shots up and we can have a chat. And also, if you want to jump on the panel and talk about your wrist shot and your watches, yeah, we'd love to have you as well. So
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be
And one final link I just want to share. My mouse has just crapped out again.
Ben, when you're done, just stay on as well for a sec, yeah? Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to. Oh, why is my mouse crapping out? Oh, what's happening? God, I've just put new batteries in it.
Maybe it's something with
You fed it
Apple.
and it still doesn't like you.
It's the Chinese
Not very
again,
nice.
man. They're not happy with us.
Yeah, they're not happy with
Trying
us,
to
are
shut it
they?
down. Trying to shut it down.
while you guys do that, I'm going to jump off. I love you and leave you all.
Me too.
And I'll see you in the next one.
See you guys.
Later,
Have a
boys.
great one.
Peace
See
out,
you guys.
JCB.
Take
See you
care.
later, Jesse. Take care, brother.
Good boys.
Take care.
Come on.
I'll
Connect,
jump off all
connect.
guys. So see you soon. Have a great weekend,
Take care,
everybody.
Abdul.
See you, Abdul.
Take care, Abdul.
See you, Abdul.
I'm stuck on a different screen
We're taking on
Right.
water, Thomas.
with my mouse not connecting. Come on. Oh,
Are you running a wireless mouse, Thomas?
yeah. How embarrassing.
Power down the mouse and then give it 2 taps and to power it back on.
Right, we're back on. Yeah, just wanted to share. Hi, Andy Louis, good to see you. I'll just give you a ring. Yeah, I just want to share what we've done this live stream coming up in 2 hours. Great show. It's a great traders. Yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks to JCB, thanks to Abdul, thanks to Timely Behavior for joining us. Thank you to Ben, as always, and thank you Y2K, my friend, for joining us from Singapore. So out of Australia, Germany, Ireland, and Singapore today. So I've got a global panel for a global audience. Thanks, Scratchy.
And you
Great show, guys. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Scratchy. And thanks, everyone. Yeah, have a good day, Rich, yourself. And we'll see you next show. And as
Yeah, thanks,
JCB
everyone.
said, please send in your wrist shots. We'd love to get as many as possible for the wrist shot show we do when we reach 500 subscribers. And if you like what we do, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. And if
And
you
make
don't
sure you're
subscribe,
wearing a watch. Thomas doesn't want like 600 pictures of just fucking naked wrists, okay? Please.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Take care.
Thanks,
and,
guys. Great fun.
We'll see you
Thank
next
you.
time. Take care.